Midnight Ramen is a minimally edited, live recorded podcast that takes place at midnight. Although Michael may not be consuming food, it's time to get your bowls out. It's chow time.
But I'll come back to you. Break stride, I'm sailing me. Free falling, choose my enemy. Free from the things you say. It will all come back someday.
Good evening, gamers and other folks alike. It is midnight here. You are listening to Midnight Ramen with me, Michael. Oh, shoot. It's Midnight Ramen, the Livecast. Yeah, with me, Michael. Yeah, hope y'all are doing okay. Yeah. How do I start this again? I don't know. How long have I been doing this? I don't know. Yeah. If you want to watch this happen live, you can go to twitch.tv/Meltaleric Original, all one word. Yeah. All one word. You can watch the streams happen live at midnight Central Time. But if you miss it, you can watch the VOD for up to 2 weeks because of how Twitch works. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, also Mental Lyric Original, where you can watch every single episode of this on there. That is, we'll get into that about a second here, but I have some choice words for YouTube. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it this week. But yeah. Also, I do other videos and streams on here as well. And other videos. One that soon-ish. I don't know when I'm gonna have it done because of the scheduling work thing. But I'll talk about that in a second. But it's a Mountain Dew video. It's a Dew review, and I am putting quite a bit of work into this one. I just filmed the stuff today, and I'm gonna do some stuff. Actually, I'm gonna do some prep work. I did some prep work and the actual reaction of it today, but I am gonna like go through and make edits and things like that. Obviously, when I'm not, doing this later. And then I don't know when the video itself is going to come out because oh my God, I tell you what, my work week is going to suck next week. Holy free holies. I missed stream on Monday because I was at work till 9 p.m. And by the time that I got home, it's well, I got to go to bed because I got to wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. because I was super paranoid and I was the only one there for 2 hours and I needed to kick off a couple rooms, but and then I also had to go to a meeting and I was still the only person there. So it's well, stuff needs to go into motion, but I can't really do anything because I'm the literal only other person here and I got to flip a room, a big room. And it was a lot. It was a lot. That's what happens when you are working or at AV Tech in a live venue space and have to do other stuffs other than concerts and whatnot. That's just, you do convention center stuff. So yeah, I like the job, but man, it's one of those weeks, and it's gonna be an even worse one next week. So hopefully there'll be an episode next week, or else I'm gonna be a little pissed off. Part of my language, I'm gonna be a little pissed off if there's not gonna be one next week, because yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm just hoping that me and my coworkers and whatever the heck, whoever we get to help, show up and do their job. As mad and as serious and as jokingly as I mean, I'm hopeful. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but man, it's going to be rough. But it is what it is, go through those. Go through that. That's just life. It is what it is. And once it's gone, it's gone. Literally, I don't remember. Like, they're like, because of the nature of the beast, I feel like a lot of the events that have happened in recent weeks, I don't remember what happened or what happened. I know they happened, but I don't remember the order in which they happened or this or that, or just like vague details. And it's just like blur. It just all blends together, I'm not going to like give out what groups or whoever was here and there, but like, just like, oh, this group here, like, it's really similar to this one, but this one happened. This first group that was like, that's not internal, happened like way before the one that was external, but it's like, but they looked exactly the same or whatever, this or that, blah, 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 blah. Or this event that was external is similar to the other external event that was happening 2 days later or prior. And there's a lot of that. Where it's like, I remember doing this. Didn't I just do this? It's a very like crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a room, a rubber room with rats. Rats make me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. And then it just repeats. What am I talking about? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I like my job. It's good. But it's next week is going to suck. But enough about that sort of personal stuff. I mean, what can I do? Nothing. YouTube is being a pain in the ass. Getting away from that. I'm gonna show what I'm actually doing. So let's look into the meat and the potatoes of what we got going on. So YouTube has recently been like getting really hard on ad blockers, and if you are watching the video of this, you can see I'm trying to watch Tulare Community College's 900,000 subscriber video on there. I was trying to find music for the show, but just for the sake of the point, whatever. My ad blockers, one here. Oh, now it was turned off, but now it wasn't turned off, but now it is. And everywhere else, ad blockers are turned off. So I'm gonna refresh the page. Oh, yeah, I know that. Go to the right corner of your screen. Oh, look, it's fine. All right, so I'll just refresh the page. Oh, what do you know? It's not gonna work. Yeah, like, seriously, what the hell? It's annoying, and it really is basically a dumb war that's been going on back and forth between YouTube, because let's be honest, the site is not profitable, and to get premium now is $14.99. That's not cheap. That's not cheap for a month. That's not. There's like for YouTube without ads. Like, I'd rather sit through ads, like 2 ads, and have the second one be skippable than pay $14, like $15 a month for basic video watching. I mean, yeah, there's other features, like if I'm on the phone or this or that, but like, still? Seriously? This is a joke. Like, for me, like, when I do like this, or I'm like playing games or whatever, and there's no music or whatever, then YouTube is probably where I'm going, because like that's the easy way to go. And now I can't really do that. So I don't know. But like the main one that I literally installed because of this situation started in the beginning, started happening. I think it was like something Origins. I can't remember what it's called. But like that's like a big one that like I think they're definitely going after, or trying to like not really like go after themselves, but like go after that program. But I've like even like the basic because I use Opera GX, and I don't know what ad block I had on there. Like I turned it off, so like it's on YouTube, so it's fine. But then obviously I have that as an exemption. And now on this one too, it's like it's just getting pissy. It's like, dude, let me watch YouTube, please. For God's sakes, I'm not paying $15 a month to do this. And I'm probably filing a complaint because like this is not cool. This is not cool at all. And they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta turn off your ad blocker. It's like, well, it is. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Oh man. Speaking of YouTube, so the next YouTube video that I'm working on right now, I'm gonna take you behind the meat and sausage, and obviously I already said it's gonna be Mountain Dew review, but it's of the Gamer Fuel. There's two of them. The other one I've already drank. I'm not gonna spoil how it tastes because I'm not gonna do that. That's for the review. But I'm putting a lot more work into this one because especially the Halloween one, the Airheads Voodoo 5 2023, that one sucked. I'm not gonna lie. The video quality on that sucked. And that's why like I kind of upped it. Like the whole video stuff, like that's basically gave me the kick in the pants to do it because like I need to upgrade my setup. And it's definitely better now, in my opinion. But could it be better? Yeah, sure, whatever. But okay. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Ooh. Looking at the camera, I don't know if I'm like pointed the wrong way, looking at the thing. My nose is going to the left. I mean, yeah, it would be my left. Yeah. I don't know. Or you know what? I probably think it's from wrestling. Because like, or why it's like off to the side a little bit. It's because of that. Because like I probably did like I didn't break my nose. I wasn't that bad. One of my teammates was so bad with that sort of stuff. He like, even if he was winning, like barely touched the mat first period. Some matches, he would have a nosebleed just out of fucking nowhere. Like out of nowhere. And it was crazy how he would do, like, his ability to get a nosebleed during a wrestling match is undescribable. And it's like he could just do it, not on, like, he can't really do it on command, but he just did it. And I don't know how. I don't know how. Outsider says SDSU wrestlers are a bunch of bleeders. That's all they do is get nosebleeds. Honestly, I mean, I can't really say much, but yeah. like he was a good friend, like he was a good wrestler, but like the thing is that he would get a nosebleed all the time. It was bad. It was really, 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 really bad. And then we have another guy who was also a good wrestler from my like grade. Like all you had to do, like I feel like after our senior year or nearing our senior year, whatever, I feel like if you hit him on the head in the right way, he would, boom, done. He would just be done. I wouldn't say dead, but like he would be done. He would be gone for a little while. And I'm not saying like, oh, hard. No, hit him just right. And he's out. Because that dude took a lot of hits to the head. And it was in like wrestling too. Like, I don't think he like suffered actual concussions, but like, dude probably went through a lot of concussions. Although I think he probably did. And that's one thing you don't want to have. Oh, that's one thing you don't want to have during wrestling. There's a bunch of stuff you don't want to have. Skin conditions, because, you know, wrestling is a contact sport. Like, literally the epitome of a contact sport, because you are, you're grabbing your opponent the whole time. Like, it's literally a contact sport. I don't know what else to say. You are at points headbutting your opponent. You are putting, like, grabbing wrists or grabbing legs, you know. There's definitely going to be, you don't want skin conditions. Where do I grab her? Carefully. Yo, when I read that, okay, in Diary of a Wimpy Kid, why was that in there? Why did he put like, it was the first book. Like, why put a thing of wrestling in there? Just like, I'm just like, that was so nah. That was It did not need to go in there. And then Greg, what a fucking asshole. Greg's an ass. Let's be honest. Like, he was a dick. I had to do that Outsider FM, which I'm probably going to use him for my next video. If you want to watch his stuff, you can go to his thing at Outsider FM at twitch.tv. He says, I had to do that when I was a karate kid. No idea how to grapple with a girl. Yeah, true. So, I'll get to that in a sec. I actually have a story about that. I'll get to it in a second. But, like, you don't want skin conditions, you don't want to have a concussion, and you don't want to be out of breath. One time, I went to like a clinic, and one of the doctors is literally one of the wrestling coaches, and I was sick. I couldn't breathe at all. And he said, yeah, you got bronchitis. And then later that day, I had to go out onto the wrestling mat, and I was like in 7th grade, probably wrestling for like JV, and the guy I was facing off against, all he did was choke me out. I was telling the ref, like, dude, tell him to stop. He's like, I can't breathe. That dude did not let up. And even like all the scoreboard people and everyone else in that room, like, after that match, and I was pinned because, like, I couldn't. I gave up. I had to give up because I could not breathe at all. Like, afterwards, I was coughing and hacking, but I was whiter than snow. I was so, like, my face was white because I didn't have any color. It was bad. Like, you do not want to have like lung problems, because if you can't breathe, you don't have stamina, you're done. So yeah. But also, like, speaking of like karate too, I am a black belt in Shotokan karate. I'll actually talk about that later, but that actually does bring up good stories, huh? So I have a black belt in karate. It's more of a traditional style of karate, and obviously I wrestled and then I think it was in like 5th or 6th grade. One of my friends lived like down the street from me, was going to this taekwondo jiu-jitsu. I don't fucking know. It's the same fucking shit. Let's be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's the same stuff. Went to this like taekwondo place, and it's kind of like a mix between karate and wrestling, and judo, whatever, boxing. You know, it's kind of a lesser version of MMA fighting without, you know, getting into that. And I like the training like the workout regimen was harder than the actual like doing it. Like, they pushed, like, even for me, like, I can do 20 push-ups pretty dang easy, but you get a fat kid who can't do 5, have him do 20 push-ups, that's like, what the fuck? And then have him do 100? Like, that's a lot. And then do like squats and like burpees. It's like, dude, that's like, that's not cool. Like, that is like good conditioning and other stuff like that, but dude. That's gonna feel like you're used to it. You can't just like be at that level. You gotta work up to it. It's a miracle that nobody threw up on that mat, because like, god damn, that training regimen was stupid hard. But the actual like, doing it was super duper easy. It was just like a bunch of grapples, and like being a wrestler, like all I had to do was sweep the guy's legs, which is super easy when they don't know what the hell they're doing. And I was like, they have their legs around my waist. It's like, all right, boom, you're done. Like you're on your back. How are you gonna defend yourself like this? Wrap your legs around me? Like, dude, you're dead. You're done. I could just, like, obviously you couldn't do that, but like, you can like actually wail on a guy like that. But like, at that point, you're done. Like, I got your legs are you're on your back. I got your legs. You're done. You're done. Like, I am a past your legs. You're screwed. And yeah, I just swept the floor. Like, even a lot of the upper rank belts could not handle it. And also another thing with like the way I know like how belts and ranks actually are supposed to go is due to like actual testing and merits and stuff like that. However, the way that this group did it was you had to go without screen time for a month. Which, like, nowadays that doesn't make sense. Especially if you're, with school and other stuff, like that's literally impossible. So to get to a higher belt rank, you could not have a single minute outside of like schoolwork of screen time. That's like, not to be a weirdo, but like at that point, like in this day and age, that's kind of impossible. Like, is it possible? Yeah, but dude, come on. That's just being Amish at that point. Like, come on. What? That doesn't show anything. I'd rather dedicate myself to like No Nut November, because that actually makes sense. Like, whatever. Should I do it? No. It's like, it was just so trivial and stupid to get a belt rank. And then you, like, even after you did the month of no screen time, then you were eligible for training, for testing. It's like, so you got to do this again and again and again. That's stupid. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, so like, I don't know how long I was in that, but I literally just swept the floor every single fucking practice that I went to it. Honestly, not worth my time. And I know one of our best wrestlers, I haven't said his actual name. I'm not going to say his actual name, and I've talked about him previously on the show, but like, he has gone into fighting. I think his debut match, he like beat his guy super quick. I mean, he's had some losses too, but yeah, he's a very good wrestler. And he does some like MMA fighting, or that's what he's doing now, on top of like other stuff. But I feel like MMA fighting is like a triangle, kind of like Pokemon, where it's like on one, like, say one point you have boxing, it's like rock paper scissors, where there's boxing, judo, and wrestling. Boxing beats wrestling because of gaps, because boxers have stamina, and if they can keep their distance and keep punching, they're gonna win. Wrestlers can beat judo fighters because they don't care about the gap, because they want to keep as far away as possible. They don't care about the gap, so they're just gonna duck down, shoot, and win. And by the time that they get their opponent on the ground, doesn't matter, they're done. And judo beats boxing because they want more length than the boxers will have, and they're gonna throw their legs at them, as well as punches. So it's like a triangle thing, and obviously that can go in reverse and other stuff like that. But I feel like that's kind of how I feel like MMA fighting goes. Either you're good, like you're good at one major thing. You can be good at other stuff, but like what you centralize is kind of like the triangle, where you are in the triangle. And if you are able to counter, cool. If you're able to outlast, yeah. And I think that's probably why he lost, is because he went up against a boxer who just came up and just beat him. And even then, like this guy, like my guy that I knew from wrestling and long ago, he's a very good wrestler, like multiple time state champion. Like he end of his like high school career, we were mad at him that he wasn't pinning guys because he would just play with them. Like he would not pin his guys, and we literally lost points, and we got mad at him because he wouldn't pin them. Because he would get him to like he would beat his guys up and basically mop the floor with them, but like he wouldn't pin them. It was annoying. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah. You know what? I think it's time to go into Magic. It's going to Magic because I feel like opening packs now. We got 2 packs, and I can't wait to open the new set of coming up. It's Ixalan. I should know it. Outsider knows what I'm talking about. Let's open up this pack. So we got Kamigawa Neon Dynasty set booster, and we got a Wilds of Eldraine set booster. Let's hope we get some good stuff out of this. The last pack that I opened from the Kamigawa one had a Go Shidai, or Go Shintai, which, although I have a Japanese version of it, so that's what I'm going to probably use for a Shrine deck, so just so you know. But I haven't gotten super far with that one. I have a lot of deck ideas, I just have not finished them. Alright. Art card. Ooh, schnice, schnasty. We got a Schwampy. Moon Snare Specialist. Natsumi Prowler. Jeskai Trainee. Hello. Shrine Steward. Twisted Embrace. Kami of Terrible Secrets. Boon of Basoju. Orochi Merge Keeper. Oh, Itzura Many Journeys. That's pretty good. Ooh, nice. Otawara Soaring City. That's a good one to have. That's a good land. Natsumi Blade Singer as the foil. On the end, we got a... Oh, what is this? Oh, we got Vela the Nightclad? Oh, what is this? Focus on it. Intimidate. Other creatures you control have Intimidate. When it or another creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Uh-oh. That makes me think. Is that a mythic? It is a mythic. From the list. That's awesome. That's a good pack. And an Otawara? Otawara? Soaring City? That's nothing to... That's a good card. Good land. I like it. Then now onto the Wilds of Eldraine. I think this one will have a pack trick. Art card. I feel like right about that there. It's called right there. 3, 2, 1 flip. Treadblind, focus. Threadblind Clee. Royal Treatment. Sir Amont the Redeemer. Red Tooth Vanguard. Return from the Wilds. Wicked Visitor. Warehouse Tabby. Gnawing Crescendo. Ooh, Full Hour Montaña. A food token. I like food. Food token. I thought it was Full Art for a second. I'm like, huh? But it ain't. Oh, foils of Phyrexian Unlife. That's nice. Intruder Alarm. Okay. And on the end, we got a Farsight Ritual. Bargain. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. If the spell was bargain, look at the top 8 cards of your library. Instead, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest of them out of your library in any order. That's pretty cool. But a foil Phyrexian Unlife? That's nice. Actually, good packs. Good packs. I can't wait for Ixalan, though. That's going to be fun. Before I get into my karate story, because like I want to talk about Magic a little bit, because I don't think I've ever talked about how I, like the full details of how I actually got into Magic, because I just really didn't. But first, let me take a drink. Oh, that's good. Like this, I don't want to spoil it in the video, but like the citrus cherry brings me back to like playing Modern Warfare 3. Like it's so good. I love it. Or like, oh man, I missed that. Because like I think I got like a bunch of it because that was one of the games that I had on my Xbox 360. And like, goddamn, I played a lot of it and drank a lot of that. Ooh. That was odd. That's good. That's real good. I'd go to my oh, excuse me. But oh yeah, talking about how I got into Magic. So originally how I got into Magic was because of my cousin. So I'm obviously not gonna say his name, but I will say he's getting married next year, and I am so proud of him. Like he really didn't announce the exact day that he was getting married until like recently. Like we had like a family gathering and he's like, yeah, it's gonna be such and such day. And he didn't really, he like just came, like they just came up with the date that they were gonna do it, like just recently. And his fiance wasn't there because she was dress shopping. But yeah. And they've actually been together for like, oh my god, a long time. Like way back. But I mean actually that actually is a very good story. So my cousin got me into Magic. When he was in like middle school in 8th grade, we kind of thought he was like going to be like a huge learner. He's going to have a struggle when he gets into high school, like making friends and stuff like that. Mainly because like he was in a Catholic school, and like the Catholic school here, like where I grow up. Oh man, those kids are fucking brutal. Like they are evil. Like they are sadistic. Like some of them are nice, like especially the guys, like, but the girls, oh man, they're evil. I do not trust them. Like I trust them as as far like arm's length away, you know. Like they're okay on, like if you let them any closer, they're gonna destroy you. That's my experience with them. I kid a little, but yeah, can confirm. Yeah, Lovey can confirm. Yeah, can confirm. Those kids are evil. But yeah, we thought he was gonna be like a very big loner, but when he got into high school, like such a big, like absolutely like mind-blowing turnaround. Like his friends were my friends. Like a lot of my friends in high school were because of the friends that he had in high school. And some of them I already knew because music, like choir, musicals and stuff like that in middle school. Like some of the people that I've interacted there, like I already knew, and they were friends with him, just, unrelated. And it's just like, it was so cool when I got into high school. It's like, hey, I know you. It's like, I know, hey, how's it going? Is that my cousin? It's like, yeah. It's really cool. And we would hang before school. We'd hang out in the like the entry where, so when you get off the buses, you'd walk up to the like one of the entrances, like the back entrance, and in that, like after you get into the building, there's this like kind of a hallway before you get into the locker bank, and we'd sit kind of like in front of this like board where this the German and Spanish trips would be right under there, and that's where a lot of the nerdy like game people would hang out, and we would play card games. We play like, and the main game that we would play, Magic the Gathering. And honestly, we probably should have had play mats on the ground because, like, there's salt, especially in the winter. Like, there's salt, just grimy floors. If like, God, like you should have card sleeves, people. But we would play on the floor and play on our backpacks and stuff like that just to keep our cards safe. But that's what we do before classes would start. And during lunch, me and this other guy, so I'm obviously calling my cousin, but I'll call this other guy, Steve, for lack of a better name. That's not his actual name. And Steve and a couple of my other like friends from that group that I already knew, we had the same lunch together. And Steve allowed me to use his decks, and I learned playing by doing that from him. And we just kept playing until like I decided, when I actually had money, whatever, I bought my own Magic stuff and started using that. And the main format that I don't know what kind of formats I initially started out with, just mainly probably like Modern. But when I really got into the group and started really playing Magic, Commander was the way to go, because that's just the way that it is. And yeah, I just fell in love with the game. And I think the first set that I really bought into was Battle for Zendikar. And another place that we would play is at the library on Tuesdays. And we would play in this like separate section, like for conference rooms and stuff like that. We would all gather there, and obviously we just played. And I got like a starter deck. I can't remember. It was a Boros deck, a white and red deck, and it came with a promo pack as well, because that's what they just did. And in the promo pack, I got a Horizon Canopy, and the Chandra Planeswalker from that set, which mind blowing. So to explain why that is important, the Chandra Planeswalker, that's a mythic. Mythic is super rare, just like this card that I got from the list that I was like pondering of, Vela the Nightclad. Like, that's super rare. Like, you would probably get, there's only like, back in the days of like real draft sets, really you get like maybe 4 or 5 if you're lucky mythics in a box with 32 packs, or 36, whatever. Like maybe 4 or 5 if you're lucky. It's a mixed bag depending on the box. Like, some you can probably get like 1 or 2 at most, and then other ones like you can get like a shit ton. But like, it's like rare for rare, essentially. So that's how like crazy that was. But the Expedition Land, the Horizon Canopy, so that was like, that's like 1 out of every 1,000 say something packs, they put this land that's like special and it does stuff and it has cool art. That card was worth like $100 when I like, roughly around $100. It's gone down in price for sure, but when I sold it, I got like a whole bunch of cards out of it. I really honestly should have bought more, but I didn't because like I was a newbie at the game and I didn't really know what I was getting. And yeah, I just did that. Like that was like I think that was really kind of like my first. I don't know if that was my first pack, but that was like my first notable pack, and it's crazy. I mean, I probably have had some like crazy buku, pack pulls, but that one really set the precedent. And I opened that pack at the library. Everyone freaked out because that was a god pack. That was so crazy that I pulled that out of a starter kit pack, like nuts. But yeah. I had another story with that. And another thing, and the game store that I went to, and I would go there sometimes. And one time I was doing a draft with my cousin, and he would I can't remember what set it was, but the first pack that I opened had the Chain Veil in it, another mythic card in it. And I'm like, oh, I'm just, when you're drafting, you pick a card that you want to use in your deck, and then you pass the pack to the next person, and then you pick a card from that pile, then pass it to the next person until you run out of cards. And I picked a card that wasn't that, passed it to my cousin, and he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to take this?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Are you sure you don't want to take this?" I'm like, "No." And he was like, "Are you sure you don't want to take this card? You really should take this card." And I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "No. I should have taken that card." I was new. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a stupid kid. I was a stupid kid. I didn't know. I just bought cards. I played. And yeah. That card was worth $36. Actually, hold on. Let me check how much that is. Let me check how much that card is. It would be on looking it up on TCG Player. The Chain Veil. It would be probably Magic. Okay, that's probably Magic 2015. So let's see. 1 year. Yeah. I don't know if it got it did. I think it did get reprinted. Yeah. Before this year, I'm not including this year, $24. Yeah, that's around the price that it was. Yeah. Yeah. That card was worth a lot. But oops. I was a stupid kid. Not gonna lie. Yeah, but that's kind of how I got into Magic, and then I got better. I got better. Knock on wood. But you learn, you play, you learn, and yeah. But going back to something I was about to talk about before, I really wanted to talk about the Magic stuff. But one thing that Outsider made me think of was my days as in karate. So when I was a very young kid, around 2-3 years old, I was rambunctious. I was running around everywhere. I would climb up on things. I was a threat to myself. I would put myself in horrible danger. Horrible harm. And I was uncontrollable. And my parents tried their best. Not gonna lie, they really did. One time, me and this other kid, were able to break into a locked gate that was like taller than both of us. And I walked into this backyard, walked right straight towards the pool, and went in. And I couldn't swim. So, yeah, that happened. And I remember another time that I almost drowned, I guess. I was standing by, like, it was like my sister was having cheer practice, and I just remember there was like Phenomena by the Muppet song. I hated the Muppets when I was a kid, like young kid, and like there was like a Phenomena going on, and I like that scared the shit out of me. So I was like outside hanging with some kids and whatever, and there was like this crick or something or going on like in the ditch, and I was just like watching the water, and then I don't know what happened. Just all of a sudden, I felt myself falling forward and into the creek. All I remember after that was like opening my eyes for a second, seeing like a fish in the water, and then waking up in the car with a blanket over, like, you know, covering me, basically trying to dry me off. So yeah, that happened. Yeah, I was a horrible danger to myself when I was a kid. And like my parents could not take it when I was like 3.5, and my sister started going to karate, and my dad asked my sensei, it's like, hey, can you take him and basically just like, you know, reform him? He's like, well, you can't, I can't really do that unless, you know, until he turns 4. And he's like, can you make an exception? And he was like, yeah, I could totally do that. And first day, and I was kind of jealous because I wanted to be in the karate too, you know? It's karate, punching and kicking. And first day, my sensei came up when I was like acting out, got down to my level, my height, looked me straight in the eyes and said, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you listen twice as much as you speak. You do not act up in my dojo. And just basically like super intimidating. And by a couple months, I was straight as a bolt, like straight as an arrow. Straight as an arrow. Like, we had this one kid that was on my baseball team who was like, you know, same thing. Like, he was on, like, his parents put on like a bunch of medication, like ADD stuff. And then my dad's like, just take him to my sensei. 2 months later, also straight in his arrow, off his medications, like crazy. Like he was strict. He didn't do any harm, but he ran those that dojo well. Man, every time. And one thing he would do at the end of it, he'd have you like stand, like, and the way that he ended, he would always say, to the shoes. And that basically meant for every kid to start rushing over to get pack them and go. Oh, and I still remember that to this day. Oh, I still like he would like, and that was my first karate instructor. But also with him, and I can even see some photos. Like I see a photo of him right now. Probably I could see 3 out of the 4 senseis that I had. So another same program, but like I had another sensei who would also go to, in a different location when like David was, when my first sensei wasn't around or something like that. Like I would go to him as well, you know, because it's karate, more karate good, you know. And of course karate is meant to be self-defense. That is first and foremost, not to be used as a weapon. You're not there to assault, you're there to protect others. And that's what I was taught, and that's what I was trying to do. and have discipline in doing that stuff. So, I mean, that's what I did. So, and then my other sensei, my other main sensei, you know, when I was like in Arizona, this was in Arizona. I should specifically go on to more. Um, like I would go to his stuff too, and he was like a like kind of funky and stuff like that. He was real fun. Um, man, I miss him. I hope he's still alive. uh, but so it must have been when I was like in first grade when my main first sensei passed away. He was a heavier set guy and he had a heart attack. What can you say? But um I should have actually said this before, but he was trained by Bruce Lee. He was one of his like students, and he learned from him, and he did all, like, I could go on for hours and hours. Like I can go on for a couple more stories about like stuff that not only like he has done for like he's done like he was a bodyguard for concerts and other bands and stuff like that. He used to do that back in like the 80s and stuff like that. um I remember when he was my sensei, I know a couple times, like one time we had our car jacked and we didn't know where it was, so we brought, so it was my dad, my uncle, who like is a really like he'll fight. Like he could probably give my sensei some trouble, even though he has zero experience with karate. Um, and my sensei, they all got into a car to find whoever stole it, and, you know, obviously beat the crap out of them. They never found who it was. They found him on cinder blocks, but all three of them went together to do, you know, to go find the car. And that was like that was so cool of them. And I remember going to Texas Roadhouse and having like dinner with him on some of the other senseis and stuff like that. I remember doing that. I remember doing that. And when he passed away, his belts were all I don't know, it was mainly his black belts, were chopped up and given to each of his students. And I don't know I actually might look for it. I don't know where I have it, but his belt was chopped up and I still have it to this day. I don't know exactly where I have it. I feel like I know where I can find it. But I still treasure that. And for that, for the way that we ranked it, like you had to do testing. Like there was like kind of more or less, I don't want to say a ritual, but you had to learn katas to rank up. And the more complex the kata, you know, the higher the rank that you can go. And there's yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. And obviously there's a final testing to get to black belt. And then on from there you do more testing and other stuff to get higher ranks. But no matter what rank you are as a black belt in this program, I mean, as long as you're continuing, I don't know how it would work, but no matter what rank you were, like there's 10 degrees, like first degree black belt, second degree black belt, third, you know, and so on. I can't remember exactly what my first sensei was at, but the minute you pass away, you're immediately put up to 10. And I like, man, just more of like symbolism and honor. Like I don't even think you can actually get it when you're alive. If you can, that's crazy. But no, it's an honor. It's a symbol of respect and like kind of Hall of Fame stuff. And I like the trophies that you got at karate tournaments. Oh my god, you can like upgrade the trophy so you can get bigger and bigger trophies. It was so fun. It was a fun thing to do. And when I like, so I had him, my other sensei, when, you know, I go to for a while. And after my first sensei passed away, his replacement, I went to maybe like one or two of his, one or two times with him. I honestly didn't like him. And he hated the system or the program, and him and another student, or another like sensei, went to the HQ of the organization and tried dumping gasoline around the building to burn it down. And he ended up, because it's freaking Arizona, it's so fucking hot, he ended up burning alive. He ended up dying because of that. And yeah, true story. True story. And then when I moved up here to Minnesota, I ended up with my oh, I gotta remember what his name is. Like I know it off the top of my head. I know it. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm not gonna say their names. But that was my fourth sensei was the one where I got my black belt with. And it was an honor because I was my first my first sensei. I was one of his last students to to attain black belt, to my knowledge. I was one of the last class to do it. And it's not to be like, ooh, bragging, but no, it's like, crazy. Crazy to think about. Yeah. And the honor that it took, I kind of honestly cheated. I kind of honestly did in my thing, because what we had to do was break boards, like wood boards, and then ensure a weak one for a certain strike. And hey, a win is a win. A win is a win. And I made it work. And I broke those boards, and I got it. I did my katas, did all the stuff that I needed to do to get that black belt. I'm proud. I'm happy that I did that. And then once I got older, I was basically an assistant for a little while, and then kind of fell off of it. And there was like another like assistant black belt with that would also like be accompanying with my sensei, and I like we did a, like, I would say like like semesters or year, like we did 1 or 2 years together. And I haven't really kept up with her much. I have her on Facebook and stuff like that, and she's married now, which is cool, but like like yeah, it's been a long time since like ever since like I was done with karate, or we were done with karate, I don't think I've ever seen her. Which is wild, because I think we went to the same high school, but like she was definitely a lot older than I was. But yeah. And it's crazy. It's wild to think about, though. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here. Thank you for listening and watching. If you want to watch these live, you can go to twitch.tv/meltedlickoriginal, all one word. But if you miss it, you can watch the VOD back, up to 2 weeks, with Twitches, whatever. And if you can also watch other stuff, please please subscribe. You don't have to have a sub, but like it, follow, leave a follow. That's what it is. Leave a follow on Twitch. Also, if you miss the window for an episode and you're like, hey, where else can I watch it? You can go to youtube.com, or my YouTube channel. Same thing, Melted Lyric Original, where you can watch every single episode. A little bit trimmed, obviously minimally edited, but you can watch every single episode on there, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, I do put a little work into that. A little work. It does take a long time for it to, get on there, but it does. But once it is, it's on there. And thank you to Gradients for the use of the song Used to It off of the album The Call. Can't forget that. They're good guys. I was gonna initially use their music, but I decided as like the preamble. Like I was gonna use their music, but then I was like, oh yeah, I made just a shit post song about Outsider being a child of divorce, which I played beforehand. Which for anyone listening to the the outside of Twitch, you don't see that. You don't see that. Also, if you're on Twitch and you watch this live as it happens, you can watch the after show, which none of that is going on onto the whatever, the video. So that's incentive to watch the streams if you can. Or the VODs of the streams on Twitch before, they go. Yeah. And mhm. And thank you for listening, watching, doing what you do, and all that other stuff. But yeah, as I look at the clock, it's not midnight here anymore. But, but, it's midnight somewhere else. But until it becomes midnight here once again, I'll see you later. But until then, bye bye.